Welcome back here. Another day of the Astro-Gravitational Report. Yesterday I tried 5 times to sit down on the computer and do the report for today. I'm talking about as of right now today because today I'm doing the report for tomorrow, but you're watching it for August 16th. Interesting is because those energies are the way we are talking about up here. I spent some time right now to look even deeper through it. I was thinking about through the day. It was like, what are these things that hits me? Hard time for people. I mentioned that before. But when you mention things in there, do you apply it for yourself? That's the question. So I had to take a look at it, my own chart, how this is applied into. And here is that the lack of the visions, a lack of these limitations, a lack of things into relationship will trigger growth. Have you overcome this growth? Okay, and that is the growth of the oneself. Okay, so that personal growth that is going to be coming in, that's going to be a Jupiter, is going to be able to assisting, while the Moon and Venus, it is opposing Saturn and Neptune. This is the reason there is lack of visions, lack of structure, lots of limitations are coming in because of this. In the physical level, this is going to be when you are emotionally wounded. Guess what? Eye missing support, your lower back will hurt. Eye lacking visions of going forward in life. How's your legs going? Right? I'm suffering a lot. Seems like the world puts me on my knees. Your knees hurts. That comes in from Saturn. He gives you messages because Saturn ruling what? The bone system in there. While Neptune is going to give you headaches. Neptune is going to be like, what I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm doing up with this. I cannot see, I cannot understand, I cannot think. Let me tell you what actually happens with that Neptune in there. Too. That is about when you reevaluate yourself, thinking about more, pretty much all of you have computers, thinking about more when you upgrading your software. And at that moment, you want to use the programs and it doesn't happen. And you're like, oh, I cannot do it. This is what actually happens as that process right now. Because the focus, the Moon, it is opposing Neptune. Here is your focus, your intuition is trying to go despite this. And the only way to work for it is the Moon and Venus are sextiling Jupiter. Jupiter, it's trining Neptune. You have to grow personally from within yourself. And this is what actually is going to be when you learned how you create yourself properly. Because the relationships, which is Libra, is going to triggering the growth properly. Okay? Are you talking about me or are you talking about us? Because guess what? Moon, it's going to be together with Venus today. And we're going to be able to see what is the part that I do about us. Right? This is the mother and the daughter coming together about relationships, right? And it has to grow. The experience of one passing through the other. And Jupiter is going to be a very, very helpful with this. And I'm talking about this is going to be a very interesting moment. Well, when we get there, I'm going to talk about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're going to see that energy at 10 o'clock in the morning. All right. But before 10 o'clock in the morning, we're going to have some stuff that we need to talk about it. Okay. 7 o'clock, the inner work is going to be a Taurus looking into the shadow, something in the material world, worry about money and things and so on. you look at you trying to figure things out with this, because the inner work of Taurus, it triggers everything that it's related into survival, providing. Okay, I have to provide. If I can be able to provide, how this will survive, right? Ooh, okay. But we're gonna see some depth energies of a very very karmic situations in there, because this is gonna be squaring the knots. Okay, you have to go through these karma situations and there, and that is the follow-up energies from Saturn that says like, hey, 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 look at it, that karma, right? Hi, Ascendant is going to be at Virgo. Beautiful yacht. If you have anything in the first degrees of Virgo, particularly if you have something in the fifth degree of Virgo, guess what? The third degree of Pluto together with Vertex and Neptune at the fourth degree, creating a yacht towards the Ascendant. The visions and transformations are coming. But do you have the patience? Imagine you upgrading your computer. And then the new software is going to have the new operation system, it's going to have a new look, it's going to have a new things, it's going to have a new programs, and so on and so on and so on. Do you have the patience to wait? And that is one of the things that is going to be triggered in particularly, and you're going to look at it, how to organize with all these sudden changes, okay? But I don't want these changes. I want them fast. And guess what? Uranus is squaring the Ascendant. It says like, yeah, they can come fast, but are you fast enough for your own self? Okay? Because this is triggers everything. All right. Next hour, 8 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Gemini. Very beautiful energies with within the air, right? From friends to a good relationship. Why? Because the inner work is trining the moon and Venus. They are both right now united at the 9 degrees of Libra. Pay attention to what you have at 9 degrees of Libra. If you have anything around this area, you're going to be looking at to focus of the love and the relationships, the love and the values. Because whatever your personal values are, you're bringing into the relationships. And now you find it out. What do you have in there within these relationships? Okay. So the Ascendant is going to be at Virgo. That's going to be at 15 degrees. That's going to be 150 degrees with 14 degrees Saturn. The teacher is teaching you. It says, hi, Vanessa. Thank you for coming in. And thank you for the hearts. So Ascendant is organizing yourself. You have to put yourself, but putting yourself with awareness of what? Of what Saturn says. Review. You might be going to be reviewing a lot of stuff as karma, as a personal things that you did and you feel guilty about it. You can review about your professional life, your study life. Okay, let's say for example you cheat an exam or whatever the situation is. You can go into previous relationships. What kind of karma did you develop in there? You can look at it, our family patterns, the bloodlines, whatever that might be. It's going to come in a trigger, because you're going to be looking at what was this organization, why did that affect me? I'm going to be organizing myself because I have to what? Satisfy Saturn, right? Because there is limitations in there. All right. Okay. Next hour, we're gonna see some Ascendant. It's still gonna be at Virgo 26 degrees, but this is gonna be squaring the inner work at Gemini, and it's gonna be squaring the dark moon Lilith. Okay. Now the true Lilith, the dark moon. The true Lilith is at 3 degrees of Capricorn. Okay. And that Lilith of 3 degrees of Capricorn in there is going to be very much a touching of the truths. Because if you go and researching the 3 degrees to the 3 degrees Capricorn, you're going to find out that they have something to do with what? Embodiment of the soul. Okay? Talking about the Sabian symbols. All right? And I wish I had a time to pull that up and I can read it, but the report is going to become just very, very much All right, 10 o'clock, the inner work is going to be tied up of looking at those values and the focus. Because just a little bit after 10 o'clock, probably it's going to be 10:05. Okay? Pay attention. What is the feelings that it's there? Okay? Because this is going to be the moment when the energy that it's going to be start coming in is going to be looking into the focus, to the intuition, to the love, into the values where they're all coming together. That energy is going to be opposing Neptune. Neptune is going to be at the sixth house, right? What I have that heal within me. I have to look, I have to healing, right? And here how the delusions comes in. Oh, there is nothing wrong with me. Really? That energy is going to be opposing Saturn. Saturn is going to be at the seventh house. It's like, what personal limitations I cannot overcome for the relationship. I have to stop thinking only about me. Attention's about me. What I have me in the relationships. Okay? It's different. Because right now the moon and Venus is looking into the values that you have common together. Okay? Venus is not only looking for material or emotional values. Okay? It's also looking for values of personality. Okay? Some people who got married about money, they figured out that money is not bringing that much happiness because the soul is empty, the heart is empty. So you have to have the values of everything. Okay? You have to combine the material, the spiritual, the soul, the physical values, all coming in. And that's where the moon is going to be start challenging this, because that's where the growth is. Because right now, Saturn and Vertex coming together. So that energy of the karma, it shows up. The door is open. The question is are you going to have the guts to look? Hi, 11 o'clock. The inner work is going to be at Cancer. The moon and Venus, they are right now exchange. Venus stays behind. The moon is continue going forward. And the moon is going to be going towards opposing Saturn. These limitations. This lack of structure. Why do I feel like this? Why this? Why that? And so on. Usually moon, Saturn in there. That is a lack of what? Touch base with my feelings. That is the side of I cannot do this with that. I don't feel like it. I don't want it like that. It's a self-imposed limitations. Saturn and Aries, self-imposed limitations. Okay? But the moon is going to be sextiling Jupiter and Mercury, and Jupiter and Mercury are trining Saturn. So if you start looking at this like, okay, I see these limitations, let me find solutions. And here how the solutions is going to be, because they're coming from what? From relationships with the personal things that are at Leo. How did you build yourself out? Nobody is responsible how you built yourself out, right? But right now the relationships is triggering, and you improving what? Improving what you have to do with Saturn. Usually Saturn puts you in the same situations as asking you to get what? 180 degrees, different actions. Okay, 12 o'clock, the inner work is going to be with Jupiter. Great time, because this is going to be these evaluations in there that it's going to have. Ascendant is going to be at the end of Libra. Beautiful energy with the North Node. Beautiful energies with the Sun. Beautiful energies even with Lilith. It's like, okay, I understand the shadow side. I understand where this is coming from. I have to put the effort of changing. But we have to, what? Sharing what we are going through. And that's what the relationship is. You start sharing in the relationship what is supposed to be. Very beautiful, because this is going to be start bringing it that inner work of growth. And it's going to give the directions of visions of how to find the solutions and how to keep going despite challenges. All right, 1 o'clock, the inner work is going to be with the sun. The sun is focused. The laser focus of Lilith is like, man, it's like this shadowing sight, right? You feel things, it's like, I cannot feel them, I cannot pinpoint them. It's like, I gotta go deep. And guess what? The ascendant is going to be at Scorpio, and it's under yacht together with Neptune and Uranus. They're going to point, they're going to be like, not your ways of the way you think is gonna grow. First, you have to demolish on what you're trying to build. You cannot build the old things and the old values. Revise this, okay? The story of the three pegs, right? If you understand the story of the three pegs, that's a Scorpio's energy. Material values with others. Right? Can be always a Taurus. You have to share the Taurus with Scorpio. But it can be always a Scorpio not sharing with others. Right? It's limitations in there. Because both Taurus and Scorpio, they are also working with the material possessions. Particularly Scorpio, working with how you work out with the material possessions of the partner. Okay? What is it in there? All right, 2 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Virgo. Now we're doing it, the proper organization, self-organizations that it's going to be there. Neptune and Pluto are working, pointing out the finger of God in there. And this is going to be leading to really evaluations of the oneself. When the divine comes in, it says like, look in you, you have to do these organizations. Look there, reevaluate, okay? Neptune is going to be like, look at this delusions out of yours, what they are. Pluto is going to be like, look at these transformations that it needs to be. Because Mars, it's pushing it. Mars is 150 degrees with Pluto. Mars right now is going to be, have you changed the family pattern? Right? Bloodline. I need to act on the family. I have to stop thinking about it's only about me. I have a family. I have to look about family. What is my dignity, right? How I am doing it, the actions within the family patterns. So this is good to push a buttons. All right, pushing the buttons, but 3 o'clock, the divine is going to be like, look at it deep. Coming from Chiron and Mars. And the receiver at the end is going to be Pluto and Aquarius. Stop thinking like a cave, 1,000 years in there. Can you, for a second, thinking about how you're going to be thinking about yourself as the higher self of Aquarius is calling for? You're not living anymore in this society back in the days and so on and so on. You cannot act like a pirate, cannot act in a certain situations. That is gone. There is a new players, new energies that are coming. Are you preparing to use them? Right? And this is going to be part of this removal of these illusions, you know. Oh, you worked before, it's going to work now. No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Because evolutions is needed. Here is now 4 o'clock. Okay? All right. Here's what I'm talking about. The inner work and the relationship. And this is a focus, which is the moon. And this is Venus, love and values. And it's going to be opposing Saturn. These limitations. Okay? But we have this beautiful sextile with Jupiter and Mercury, and that goes into Saturn. From there, that energy is going to the ascendant at Sag. And look all this beautiful kite. You see that kite? That's what it is. Here's the trigger, and here it's the solutions in the blue. Okay? And that is going to help us to figure it out. Are we going to grow? If we don't grow, We have to go out to the public, because guess what? Sagittarius is not only represents a writing, arts, and so on. Sagittarius is archives, library, information. And here I'm gonna start doing some research, something about how to put the things together in there. Okay? And that energy is gonna start helping you about the growth, looking at how the growth was in the past. That growth is gonna start, and it's gonna start helping even the next hour. This is 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The inner work is gonna be sextiling the sun, and it's gonna be sextiling the ascendant with Lilith. Why? Because the sun has a focus. Your will has a focus. Okay? These things have to come out on the surface. All patterns. Do I need you? No. Do I need you? I have to keep you? Yes. Do I need you? No. And that's what you're going to do. Some of you is going to be going over the closet and remove old clothes. But can you go to the closet of within your belief system is the question. To throw some of the stuff out of your belief system that actually your own limitations. That is what the sun actually is going to be looking for. All right, 6 o'clock, we're going to see some this energy with the ascendant, and the true Lilith is going to be, hey, are you embodying it your soul? Right? The inner work is going to be in Scorpio, is going to be pointing out towards Saturn. It's going to be squaring Jupiter. It's like, oh, well, this growth that Saturn is demanding, I have to understand it better. Hear how the awareness of the consequences of actions coming up. Because if I do this but doesn't grow, I'm not satisfying Saturn. If I do this and I grow, the growth is going to be seen by Saturn, because Saturn is trining Jupiter and Mercury, right? And this is after you cleaning up the closet, clean up your consciousness, things is going to start getting better. Why? Because Mercury, Jupiter are in yacht with the ascendant of the incoming energies that are coming to it. Those sudden changes you made, they're going to lead you to understanding the growth. Hopefully you're going to do it, because it's going to trigger Mars. Mars, it is squaring Neptune. Okay? Those are the cardinal energies. And since the ascendant is at Capricorn, is opposing Mars, some of you is going to feel agitated, aggravated, because those are the things that challenges to grow. And guess what? When the things that challenges to grow, and you're like, oh, well, my partner doesn't change, so I don't have to grow. So it's my partner's fault that they did not did, so I can keep my comfort zone. Wow, that is going to be some challenge in there. Yep, because Mars is where? In the personal side of the family patterns. Seen it from somewhere. All right, 7 o'clock. The inner work is going to be at Capricorn, and that is going to be putting these divine energies towards the sun. Usually that is an aspect with people who are born to be a public servant. Okay? So how you are as a public servant. You see, some people, they become a public servant, but they serve somebody else. And here where the karma is going to come out. Okay? And that energy is going to be really challenged of the oneself. All right, talking about these challenges, at 8 o'clock, we're going to see some, the inner work is going to be at Sag. A lot of you is going to be start really, okay, I have to go and research it. I have to go to the library. I have to go look at a video. So I have to find this book. I need to find these solutions, resolutions about everything that goes on. This cannot continue. Okay? And now the moon that it's at 15 degrees, it's moving out of this straight opposition with Saturn. And here how the moon is like, okay, I figured out what the problem is. I have to go start investigating more. I have to look at it more into these relationships. And then I have to see how deep I can make it. People with the moon at Capricorn, very deep emotional state, but also they are naturally born detectives. Pay attention. What do you have at Scorpio? Okay? Moon in Scorpio, it is. You cannot lie. They are just the best lie detectors. If it's any of you have a moon in Scorpio, you already know what I'm talking about. Right? Have a Mercury in Scorpio, you can talk deep stuff. But you also can take deep stuff personally. Right? You have a Mars in Scorpio, depends on how the rest of the aspects, it can be a good. You can have a decency, honesty, and develop deep, deep values. Masculine values. Okay? But hopefully nobody makes you mad, because Mars in Scorpio is the warrior. You don't wanna, it's kind of like a trying to get the lion's tail while he's asleep. All right. 9 o'clock, the inner work is going to be with Lilith, and right now the sun is like, okay, here's the shadow comes out. I think sooner or later it comes out in a shadow. In personal life and family life and a relationship, in a professional life and public speaking, in a spiritual life. Nothing, absolutely nothing, it's hidden. Only it's hidden in your imagination. Okay? Only it's hidden in your imaginations. And when the thing starts coming out, you better what? Act upon it. Okay? Better act upon this. Ascendant is going to be at Pisces. It's going to be giving these beautiful divine energies. Pisces, Libra. This is where the spirit is going to be like, don't worry about it. Follow the divine path. You're going to find it. Okay? Following the divine path. All right, 10 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Capricorn. You're really digging into this like, I have to do it, but you cannot do it. Why? Because the inner work is going to be a squaring Venus and squaring Saturn. And it's like, I need to look at those limitations. And guess who puts these limitations in there? Uranus, which is also represents the universe, and Jupiter with Mercury. You have to accept the new software program and start working on it. How do you feel when the first time you upgrade the computer to new software system, you don't know how to click, where to click, how this opens? Totally different. How about you? When you, after you change, you start looking at how to operate from within you and like, I used to do it like this, why I'm doing it like that? But it's leading in there, right? As the ascendant is going to be at Aries, this is about visions of the oneself. It's like, okay, I got it. I seen it. I have a new operation system and I'm moving forward despite the challenges. All right, 11 o'clock, despite the challenges, guess what? Ascendant is going to be a Taurus, as the inner work was at Taurus, right? The material world, we're ending with the material world. So the ascendant that it's going to be at Taurus is going to be attrining the inner work at Capricorn. And the inner work at Capricorn is going to be looking into the sun. You see, you might not realize it, but every time you do some work that it's positive in the spiritual realm, it's also going to bring positiveness in the material. But the question is that most people don't believe in that because they want it now. We are in a retrograde season. You can't have everything now. You have to go back. Okay? You have to reevaluate the proper way, the right things, and so on with that. So the moon, it's gonna be with vertex. This is where the things is gonna be start open up for that growth. Okay, and that is the things that you need to look forward to it. All right, so that's what it was, the astrogravitational report, and I'm gonna be giving you tomorrow, 7 o'clock in the morning, what the things will going to be. Well, the moon is gonna be out of order for a little bit. You're gonna feel like, okay, well, I felt this, I felt that, I get this, and so on and so on within this, and I have to look things more deeply, more deeply. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about this tomorrow. Are you doing free tarot readings? Let me tell you something about tarot. I do a tarot, but on very special occasions and a very special tarot. Some of the people, they really know the benefits of when I do a tarot, but I'm not doing a tarot out on YouTube. Okay. And darling, thank you for watching my back with this. So that's what it was, the astrogravitational report. I wish to all of us a good luck with all those changes. Okay, because the improvement is going to help out. But we're going to following the changes tomorrow. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for the clicks, the likes, the shares, and the subscribes. And if this helps you in your life, come back tomorrow for another astrogravitational report. Much love.